Okay, thank you very much. I'm ready. Can you hear me and can you see my shared screen?
Yes, we can hear you and watch. We can watch your presentation.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Xun Luo. Actually, in the past 5 years, uh, I had intensive collaboration with Latin America colleagues, and I'm supposed to come to the conference venue in person because I'm in Colombia. But last night we had some uh, incident, so I could not come to Mexico City. But I look forward to meet everyone again
Oh
in the
my
future.
God.
So,
Okay. Sorry. So that's a good point. Huh? Sorry for my intervention. And go ahead.
yeah. Uh-huh. So I'm the deputy director of China National Laboratory of Virtual Reality Technology and Systems. And our laboratory is in Beijing, China. But as I just mentioned, we also have a branch laboratory center in Colombia, in the city of Cali. Actually, the United Nations Biodiversity Conference, COP16, is going to be held in October. So if anyone is coming to the Biodiversity Conference, we would be very glad to host you here in the city of Cali. So our Colombian center is called Connected Universal Experiences Labs. So today I'm going to talk about some of the projects that we combine satellite sensing, GIS, and digital twins for the biodiversity. And I show you some infrastructure cases of China and Latin America. I will share two representative infrastructure constellations. Of course, in the past 3 years, there has been a huge growth of number of satellites, number of rocket companies, and the number of application solution providers in China due to the commercialization of the satellite industry. So, but these two representative constellations are meaningful because they use and their data is largely used in quite a few Chinese national projects. So one of the constellation is Jilin-1 constellation by the commercial company Changguang Satellite. And Changguang Satellite, just as Planet Labs, is also openly selling its satellite imagery data globally. And the other one is more recent. It's a research and open access constellation. It's called Tianshuan. And that is maintained by alliance of universities, research institutions, and non-government organizations. That the plan of the Tianshuan constellation is to eventually have 300 satellites that could be an open experimental platform that will be used globally. And the Jilin-1 constellation is Earth remote sensing constellation, and the first satellite was launched in 2015 in October. So far, there are 41 satellites in orbit, and every year it increased about another 40 satellites. The phase one is planned to have 60 satellites and with the 30-minute revisit of anywhere on Earth. And the resolution for phase one constellation is sub-meter at 0.7, 0.8 meter resolution with panchromatic sensing. And the phase one has already been completed. And the phase two is 138 satellites. And upon completion of phase two construction, there will be the result of 10 minutes revisit of anywhere on Earth. And it will be the same resolution. And it's expected to complete this phase by end of 2025. Originally, the phase two was planned to be completed by end of 2030, and this plan has been moved ahead due to the satellite business booming in China. Actually, the whole market cap for startups in Chinese satellite industry almost increased 40 times in the past 5 years. So this is very significant in China. And for biodiversity, which is very common and a hot topic these days, there are several national level satellite sensing and application cases that being used. The first one is the whole China port shoreline monitoring, and through the Changguang constellation, almost 4,400 kilometers of Chinese shoreline are monitored on a daily basis. And the monitoring of this, including the change of the coastline, any ship construction, and the ship position dynamic tracking. And this gives the several government agencies, of course, the National Defense, and also the Department of Industry and the Information Technology, and the Department of Commerce, to have good decision making for and also the Department of Transportation, so they can make optimize the decisions for ports and environmental protection. So far, among world's top 10 container ports, 7 of them are in China. So of course, these ports created very good transportation capability for the country, but they are also potential pollution sources. So monitoring the whole nation's coastline is a very important task. So this is managed by using the data of the Changguang constellation. The other one is the Department of Water Management. The Ministry of Water Management in China is using the Changguang constellation data to monitor the whole country's rivers. And actually, there is a project it's called the Digital Twin Rivers in China, and that project is planned to be complete by 2030. Which the main rivers will be monitored on an hourly basis, and it will be cross-referenced with digital twins. And this would not happen without would not happen without the high-resolution satellite sensing. So here is a use case that the hydropower station in the Simao port in South China, and this hydro station's operation situation monitored by the satellite data on an hourly basis, and to be cross-referenced with the digital twin model and the water throughput, and also any emergency situation is monitored in semi-real time with the digital twin model. So with some annotation, the Department of Construction and the Department of Environment is using the satellite data to monitor the illegal activities along China's main rivers. In China, the law regulates four types of illegal activities, which is called the 4 kills. The first illegal activity is farming, including planting of tall trees and tall crops that will hinder the water flow in the case of flooding. So this is through the machine learning process that now achieve almost 100% detection of these illegal activities. The second type of illegal activity is chaotic littering, which is unauthorized liter of waste along the river banks. This one is also monitored in semi-real time with less accuracy, but this one is being improved. Our lab participated a lot of these efforts. And the third type of illegal activity is called chaotic mining. In China, due to the huge demand of business and residential construction, the mining of river sand is actually a very profitable business. And this drives a lot of vendors of sand to mine illegally from the river. And this one is heavily regulated and fined at the national level to protect the river environment. And the last type is illegal construction, and these houses were detected and were forced to be torn down. So this is another type of application used this is not at the national level, but quite a few Chinese cities started to deploy their own satellites to do the eco environment health monitoring. This is because the Chinese cities are usually highly populated and are very dense, so they can afford the satellite of their own. In this case, we are seeing in the Jiangsu province, in the Yangtze River, this Kunshan city, they launched one of their own satellites. Eventually they're going to launch 3 satellites to monitor the whole city area, and one of the satellites is used to monitor the ecosystem health, which use a combined rubrics of the plantation coverage, of the soil exposure, and construction density. So they use this and compare the temporal imagery, and they use this to do the urban management and law enforcement. The city of Kunshan also used the satellite imagery provided by the Chang constellation to monitor its the water quality that under the jurisdiction of this city, and they use this to monitor the chlorophyll, which is related to several factors, including nutrition level and other algae level. And they also use to monitor the quality of the level of suspended sediment concentration, because that factor is very important for drinking water quality. So this is monitored also on a daily basis. And in the cities nearby lake, the Taihu Lake, once in every several years, there will be a blue algae outbreak, and it is difficult to prevent the outbreak of this blue algae, but it is able to be predicted and to schedule the resources such as cleaning boats and other activities to do the clean up of the blue algae. So the prediction in the past few years has been very successful. Whenever there are early signs of blue algae outbreak, the boats and the personnel and other resources will be allocated to have a very effective processing of the blue algae. And another application used at the national level is to monitor the pollution sources. The big factories in China are required to have surveillance cameras installed at their sewage processing outpost. And they need to report the video in real time of the surveillance camera to administrative agencies. But also at the national level, its satellite imagery is used to do the cross-referencing of this water quality of their processed water. And not only the location could be detected, but also the source of pollution in case there are violations can also be detected. And this is the example that is in year 2020. That one satellite imagery detected a pollution level violation, and then the local law enforcement did the cross-check of the camera video 2 days after, 1 week, 8 days after detection, and find out that there is indeed a regulation violation. And the constellation data is also used for disaster relief and also the disaster situation monitoring. This shows one of the landslide disaster. When it happened, the situation is monitored and assessed using the satellite imagery in year 2018. Not only China used the constellation for the nation's own use, but it also responded to the international need. For example, this one was in year 2020. The Chinese satellites were used upon request to help the disaster evaluation of the Indonesia and East Timor. Actually, in year 2022, the Chinese satellite data is also used for the oil spill in for Peru when there was oil plant spill. And this one is used to evaluate the flooding caused by extreme weather. And you can see that this is a completely automated process for the major cities, because in the summer, many Chinese cities suffer flooding due to the excessive amount of rain. And the different cities report different data to the central government. So not only the central government uses the report from the local government, but they also use the satellite imagery to do the cross-checking, because the federal government needs to allocate relief funds to the local government, and the real situation of this such disaster is very important to allocate such funds. And the data is also used for environment protection, such as oil spill on the ocean surface. This one shows in 2021 in the northern China Sea, when the oil drilling platform had a oil spill, and it was monitored in real time by the satellites. And as I mentioned, this is also used for the Peru event in 2022. These are some other uses. So I know the time is very short, but I would like to emphasize that there is a research and development constellation by 70 Chinese universities, and it's called the Tiansuan constellation. This is actually an open platform that allow universities to deploy their own applications on the Chinese constellation. And this initiative is led by Beijing University of Posts and Telecommunications, but our research center in Colombia is the active promoter of this constellation, and we can help institutions to be admitted into this alliance. And by the end of last year, it's planned to be 6 satellites, and all 6 satellites have already been launched. And the long-term goal in 10 years is to have 300 satellites. If you have more interest for this open platform, you can visit the website tiansuan.org.cn, and also you can feel free to contact me to join the alliance. And thank you very much for the attention. And I think I finished in time, and I'm ready to take questions.
Thank you very much, Dr. Xun. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. So, are there any questions?
Yeah, for sure. We have some questions here from people here. The first question that Rene is the student, he's asking about the shipments. Um, as you said, I think this is something related to the Black and others waters. The shipments used to navigate in Black and others waters, and why are you monitoring these factors? Thank you.
Okay, sorry. I think you are talking about shipments and or blackout water. Is this the page or the? Are we talking about this page?
The student is this one? He says that maybe the no is another one. Is another one. This is the last one. Previous one previous please. The previous one. I think that is that one.
This one?
I think see. I think so.
Okay. Yeah. So, sorry, what was the question again?
Yeah, yes, no problem. He's asking
Mhm.
about the Black and others waters and and the shipments used to navigate in Black and others waters, and why are you monitoring these factors?
Monitoring.
Yeah, Black and others waters.
Yeah. Uh,
So that's a question.
yeah.
Yeah,
Sorry.
I think that the student wants to say about the shipments because you were explaining something about the shipments. So uh, I'm gonna try to translate and maybe because you are monitoring Black and others waters in your constellation of the satellites, the student is asking
Yes.
why you are monitoring Black and others waters and if the shipments used to navigate in them. I hope that you can understand.
No, I didn't. Sorry. Yeah. Sorry. I yeah.
We can
I maybe we can communicate offline. Yeah. Sorry, I didn't fully understand the question. Yeah, I apologize for that.
no problem. And if
Uh,
you if you please share us your email, I
uh-huh.
gonna
Sure, sure,
yeah.
sure.
I
Yeah,
gonna
I share the email now. Yeah. Let me send it to the
that's cool.
chatting.
I'm gonna tell him to write an email to you. Okay,
Sure.
that's cool.
Yeah.
Thank
I
you.
just sent the chat to
Thank you.
the chat
Thank you.
window.
I
Yeah.
think that he's watching the chat, so that's nice. So the
Uh-huh.
second,
Okay.
we have a student. So the student wants to ask you something. Go ahead.
Hello, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Hello?
Yes, I can hear.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Well, my ask is about cargo shipping, like my classmate. So, how affect suspended sediment to shipping process? I mean, the cargo ships in the when the shipping
Navigating
navigating
in the rivers.
in the rivers, how affects
Yes.
suspend sediments?
Uh-huh.
Dirty water, I mean, black waters. How affect?
Oh, okay. Now I understand the question. Okay. Yeah. You were talking about the ship navigation activity, how that will affect the suspended sediments in this case, right? So in this case, this is actually a inner lake. This is a lake that is not used for a lot of commercial navigation because this is a closed lake. That's in the East China. So you can see this is a fully closed lake, very much like the Black Sea between Russia and Ukraine, and the navigation activity on this is quite limited. So in this case, the suspended sediment is mostly caused by the constructions and also environment factors such as weather change. So that's the sediment suspended sediment concentration is caused by that instead of ship navigation activity.
So he's yeah. Just go ahead, Dr. Xun.
Yes. So yeah, in this case, yes, it's caused by that. For the port monitoring of the container ports, that's I think it is more likely the navigation activity will cause the change of the suspended sediment. But that level is usually not monitored in the port application. But in this application, the sediment is mainly used to monitor the weather change and also the constructions along the lakeshore rather than ship navigation activity.
Okay. Rene, no, Enrique says thank you, Dr. Xun.
Thank you.
And we have the last question. This is from Josue, and I'm gonna read it for you, Doctor.
Okay.
So you have shown how satellite constellations like Jinling 1 and Jianshan are being used for environmental monitoring and disaster management. Could you share more about how these technologies are currently being used in disaster response and how they might be further adapted to support efforts in regions like Latin America?
Oh, yeah. I can give a very detailed example of this. So here is the example that if we look at this situation, so the satellite imagery collected before the disaster, which is the left picture, is used to construct the 3D terrain, which is now a common application because of the digital twin Earth and other initiatives. Now we actually have pretty accurate 3D terrain of the Earth. So this is used as the foundation before the disaster. So this 3D terrain is calibrated on let's say on a weekly or monthly basis to make sure it is accurate. When there is a disaster, which is in the center picture, that the terrain will change. So once the terrain change with the 3D information, that's why our lab is involved into this because our lab has a strong research capability in computer graphics. So we analyze the mesh and volume, and then we do the differentiated calculation that is based on the original 3D terrain to evaluate the situation of this disaster. So in this case, it's the landslide. The landslide caused the 3D terrain change, and also the volume of the soil and rocks get into the river is calculated based on the geometry data. Using this with the digital twin model, which is on the right, because with the digital twin model, we have the river model, and then we can calculate what is the risk level. Because the central picture shows the situation, And the right picture shows the risk level, combining the digital twin model of the river itself and also the situation of this landslide. So to conclude, that if we need to do disaster monitoring and relief, we first need to have a digital foundation of the area under under surveillance. In this case, in the land, it's the 3D terrain. In the Peru oil spill case, it's the ocean surface. And then when there's a change happened for that base foundation, then we calculate the delta, and then we get the we can have monitor the situation, and then to actually map the change the situation into risk assessment, or to give the suggestion on actions we should take. Then in this situation, we need to have digital twin model of multiple factors, and then we combine the digital twin model and the situation. Then we can either do the decision making or the trend prediction. And so these are basically the steps for disaster monitoring and assessment.